Because this is probably one of the most important topics ever that I would talk about and that people talk about in general, I definitely don't want to do some weird little hook to get you intrigued. If you want to stick around and listen to it, feel free. It might help. I don't know. I essentially want to cover the essentials of actually becoming happy. Becoming happy as a concept is probably the most important thing anybody could ever do with their lives. And to become happy, fulfilled, content, have meaning, stuff like that can mean different things to different people. I've talked a little bit about how I think the purpose in life is to feel good, and I think the purpose in life for everybody is truly that. It's truly to feel good. The source of anything, any motivation that you have, any actions that you take are all for the purpose of feeling good. And I do want to also emphasize, like I did before, to genuinely feel good. Feeling good as a surface sentence can mean a lot of different things, like, feeling ecstatic or excited in a moment. And it's fleeting. It goes away right away as soon as it came. And same thing can be said about like drugs and alcohol. They can make you falsely happy. They can just pull on threads of dopamine, or stuff can pull on threads of oxytocin or serotonin, stuff like that. Stuff that you deliberately do to cause a momentary spike of supposed goodness. It's not actually genuinely goodness. So I do like to emphasize the difference between genuinely feeling good and otherwise. So the essentials of actually becoming happy. If you're in a place where you can't find a way to feel happy, this hopefully can help you out in a little bit. I don't know what situation you're in. Everyone's situation is different. That's why I try to be vague. I try to be very open-ended, very loose about what I say, so that doesn't apply to any particular person in general. And it might apply to more people. It might apply to you, depending on what situation you're in. You might be in any particular situation right now, and hopefully this might help. I don't know. I'm just gonna go off the fly here and talk about a few things that make me happy every day. I think appreciation is a very, very big part of what makes you happy and content in life and feel good. Appreciating what you have and not seeking out new and better things all the time is very valuable. If you could right now make a list of 10 things that you appreciate about yourself, 10 things you appreciate about the world around you, 10 things you appreciate about your situation, 10 things you appreciate about the person you're with, if you're with someone, or the animals that you have, something like that. 10 things that you could appreciate about whatever's going on in your life. That can put clarity into perspective of what actually matters to you. Like, why would you appreciate that, or why would you not appreciate something else? The more times you focus on something you appreciate, the less the other stuff will be there. The less the pain and suffering and disease might be there, because positive thinking brings a positive reward. Positive thinking tends to make people healthier. It's a sign it's something backed by science. You could probably look up and research that I feel is true. I do feel like I am generally less sick than most people. I don't know if that's because I have just a great genetic immune system. I don't know if that's the reason, but I hope it's the reason. But I hope the reason is because I genuinely try to be stress-free most of the time, go with the flow, and have an easygoing, positive life. And I hope that I bring that effect to other people. So, like, going into work today, what I'm going to try to do, and hopefully maybe you can learn from it, is I'm going to try to loosely enjoy the day. I'm going to try to move step by step easily through each different interaction that I have. I'm going to try to appreciate the people that are around me. I'm going to try to appreciate the stuff that I have to do. I'm going to try and appreciate the world around me. And generally, appreciating the world can absolutely make you feel more happy as a person. And if you can write down a few things, that provides clarity for you. Because there are things that you can appreciate about your own life. Boiling down to the most nitty-gritty thing, if you can't find something just outwardly specific right around you, look inward. You can appreciate the fact that you have a level, clear mind. You can appreciate that you're relatively healthy. You can appreciate the idea that you can breathe and enjoy the air, and that can spike your levels of happiness day to day if you like. There's really just a lot of things that exist in everyone that you can enjoy and appreciate about life. And absolutely things around you can appreciate as well. I love to appreciate the sun shining outside. I love to appreciate the warmth of my skin or a nice cool breeze. I like appreciating the different climates and stuff like that because I enjoy the variety and I enjoy the essence of life around me. I enjoy being able to be alive and enjoy whatever is going on around me. And when it comes down to focusing on that type of thing, all the stuff that doesn't matter kind of fades away. I don't worry about other things. I could list all sorts of stuff to worry about, and I hope that you don't focus on that. Focus on the positive parts of the video. I don't want to worry about people who think poorly of me. I don't want to worry about if I'm doing a bad job in something. I don't want to think that I've done the wrong thing each day. I don't want to think that all my goals are for nothing. I don't want to think that I'm losing my mind. I hope. And I don't like to think that I'm wrong and small and insignificant. I like to think the exact opposite of all those things. My life has meaning because I bring meaning to it. My life is something to be thankful for because I find things to be thankful within it. I can appreciate the people around me. I can appreciate myself and my body. I can appreciate everyone who I exist with. And I don't actively think all these things that I'm listing off to you. They do fleet. They do go in and out throughout my whole day. It's not something that I'm constantly focused on. And you shouldn't expect to constantly focus on stuff that makes you happy, because that is ultimately a little unrealistic. And I would hate for you to say, well, today I'm going to do these things to be happy. And then what happens is you fail one thing. You might slip, you might fall, and you might become unhappy in a moment. And then you might accelerate that by saying, damn, I failed. But you still tried your best. You're still trying your best to achieve some sort of good happiness. And it's not some big reflection that you can't do it just because you failed one time. There's nothing wrong with that. That means you have an opportunity to improve and maybe get better in the future. If you weren't able to be happy in that moment, that's okay. At least you're trying, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. And hey, I don't know if you feel like you're doing a good job, but I think you're doing a good job. I appreciate you. I appreciate your existence. You are every bit as valid as anybody else. You're every bit as special as anybody else. It is so astounding that you exist. It's so astounding the story that you have. You could talk for hours about who you are and how you feel and what you think about life, and I love that about you. I love that you're able to talk to somebody and just tell them how you feel and open up yourself and be vulnerable once in a while. And if you can't, I love that you try to. I love that you try to get to know people. I love that you try to trust people. I love that you try to connect with people. I love that you feel thankful about the things that you get, and I love that you appreciate us and the rest of humanity. And I know that you're a truly beautiful person. It's astounding the fact that we even exist at all. It's astounding that we're on some weird rock floating through space, floating at millions of miles, floating at thousands of miles an hour, spinning around this big ball of fire. It's really weird that we exist at all. It's something to be appreciative of, for sure. It's just an astounding chain of events that shouldn't have happened, that shouldn't have had our existence come to light. And whatever religious beliefs that you have, whatever non-religious beliefs that you have, you can, in essence, still be thankful that we even get the chance to think, feel, and be here at all. And that alone is something to be thankful for and appreciate. And I feel like practicing those types of thoughts, practicing those types of emotions, and practicing focusing all your attention and energy towards something positive, or at least practicing that. Everything is a practice. Everything is a work in progress. Practicing these things and moving yourself toward a better goal, toward a more positive toward a better, more positive way of thinking, that's going to make your life better. Because as I've stated before, your life is a series of moments to moments to moments. What you can't do is focus on the grand scheme of your life. You can't fix all your problems right away. What you can do is control your moment. If something is causing you to suffer, causing you pain, causing you strife, causing you discomfort, you can move yourself out of that in that moment. You can try your best to anyway. It's not always possible. Maybe someone's backing you into a corner, yelling at you in the face, and you have to take that. You have to survive that. And then when you get past that, you have a new moment, a new opportunity to be happy and appreciate the fact that you survived that interaction and that you did well and that you kept your cool if you had to, or that you didn't blow up and cause some sort of epic violence. There are a lot of things that you don't do that are negative, that you can appreciate the fact that you're avoiding them. And that's very good, and I hope that you do. Obviously, there's a lot of situations where you might let loose and become a worse version of yourself in that moment, and hopefully you can acknowledge those and improve yourself in the future, because like I said, everything is a work in progress. And I want to go into this more. I might record more time associated with happiness, and actually, I'm going to pause. I'm out of time. So the video might cut here, and it might look different next time I'm continuing this conversation, but hold on just a second. We'll get right back to you.
Yeah, well, that was a while. So I kind of got away from doing this stuff, doing the videos. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time since that video was started. I can say that between now and before, when I made that video, a lot's changed. My perspective has changed. I've evolved a little bit more. My hair got thinner. LOL. Got married. And I don't know why I had to stop so much. I just feel like my motivation like really dipped. And when I was in August of, what was it, 2023 or whatever it was, that was a fun time for me. It was a really cool and exciting time for me to try hard to put more videos out there and be more devoted to this idea. And I kind of got the whole system down. You know, I was going to video, at least for a little bit there. Obviously, you can see what's been uploaded. It's not that much. And so you can see like how how much motivation depleted after a little bit. But yeah, I still hold true to some of these concepts that I've listed here. I know it doesn't seem like a lot of time for the viewer if you're watching this, but it was a long time that passed. I can definitely say that my happiness has gone up and down and dipped left and right all over the place since talking about that. And that's kind of the general idea of happiness. Like I was already mentioned, it's a practice. And so I would say I was pretty poor at practicing it. I was pretty poor from time to time, pretty bad at practicing the idea of happiness and keeping myself positive from time to time. There's certain things that I've had to deal with, like just stuff at work basically, that has caused me to be more and more stressed out, and I haven't been able to focus so easily on positive things. I still do get the reality check from once in a while, where I realize that I'm just a tiny little human, a tiny speck on a rock floating through space, and I like thinking about that because it really pulls everything into perspective, and getting reminded about that and how silly my problems are relative to those types of concepts it's helpful. It's gratifying, and it really checks me in to make sure I'm focusing on positive experiences, because you only live once, as the saying goes, right? YOLO. And that used to be prominent a few years back. Everyone just said YOLO over and over all the time, because it really helps you understand that you do only have one singular chance at existence. There's only one opportunity to seize everything you wanted in one moment. Are you going to capture it or let it slip? Yo. But I do believe that, and I do want to make sure I remember that. I do only have one opportunity in my whole life to experience life, and I don't want to just burn it all to ground by feeling negative. Because, like, I could have things and the stuff to focus on that's happy, whether it be materialistic or experiences, and I could have bad experiences that, you know, they inflate and they cause me stress and they make me all sorts of just negative and despaired. But that would be my life if I just had those bad moments and didn't focus on good things. So I did a chance to focus on good things a lot, especially hanging out with my wife now, Jocelyn, of course. We weren't married at the time, but we are now. Ironically, I can't show you my ring because I just lost it. Hopefully I find it. I can't show you my ring because it wasn't there last time, and it isn't there this time. That's okay, you know, losing my ring was a tough time. The day of was a very poor, negative experience. But I remember that my love is much more than obviously just a ring. And so the symbolic tool of having a ring was lost, but my love's not lost. So it's not a big deal. It's all good. And I've also had a lot of rage in the last few weeks too, that I should, you know, work and practice on better thinking and more pausing and more breathing. Because a lot of the times I'll forget to breathe, I'll forget to feel positive at all, and I'll rage out, crash out. That's a new expression that's really come to light in the last couple of years that I haven't been recording, is crashing out. People crash out and lose their minds and go absolutely apeshit. So I've crashed out a couple times. I recently crashed out yesterday, actually. Hurt my elbow because I was smacking something because I was angry. Imagine that. Crazy. Yeah, it's really valuable to check yourself and make sure you're pulling your perspective in and focusing on happy things and positive things and grateful things. I think the practice is the most prominent tool of happiness, and I've said it a few times already. If you really do want to be happy, you really just have to rehearse happy thoughts. There's no chance you'll be happy if you can't keep your perspective in check. You have to practice your perspective. Like if you want to, like this is literally the guide to become happy, is to write down things that you feel positive about in your life. If you don't write them down or have a way to store them or have a way to rehearse them easily, you'll forget about them. It's okay. There's nothing wrong forgetting about the things that you love in your life. But you will. You'll be moving on to something else. You'll be focusing on your job or focusing on something going on in life or at your home or something in your love life. You'll be focusing on those things and you won't remember to be happy. But if you set time aside and actually look at things on a list or something stored somewhere that you know you're feeling positive about, and that when you think about those things, positive feelings will emerge. You know, you can first force yourself to smile about things because that associates your brain to release some happy chemicals. It will happen. You know, it's like a biological fact at this point. That's one way to be happy. But I would say the most reliable, consistent, chronological happiness that you can have comes from appreciating things and being grateful for things and checking your perspective. Because there's all different types of happiness, and I mentioned genuine happiness already. You really do want to be genuinely happy about life and not like just momentarily like excited about different types of things. Like I have an amazing weekend coming up. I'm actually not sure what's going to happen in the weekend. I haven't been told. It's a surprise. It's for my birthday, 30th birthday. And I hope that it's fun. I'm very excited right now in the moment. And I'm excited. I'll be excited when it happens. And those moments are going to be great. I want them to be everlasting, but they won't be. And that's okay. I'll just have to enjoy the moment while I'm inside the moment. And I'll enjoy the moments when I remember them too. But I have to make sure I remember that my life isn't just about those happy moments. Because I'm not allowed, whether it be monetarily or physically, to have those moments all the time. So if I condition myself to only be happy when those moments come up, then I'll be unhappy for the majority of my life. If I can't have those moments, then I might be unhappy. So you have to appreciate the moments that are there, remember moments that you enjoyed as well, and appreciate those. But don't forget about the other things in life that you can generally be happy about that aren't related to some major significant event. Like say you were going to a concert and you were so hyped to go there, you're so hyped to be there, you're so hyped when you left, now the concert's gone, you have to go back to your old life. Oh my gosh, everything's back to being terrible, and I have no way of feeling happy and excited about things again, unless I go to another concert. Like that is just a symbol, just an analogy that you can transpose onto any situation in your life, whether it be, you know, having an exciting moment happen in a video game, having an amazing movie theater experience, or having an amazing meal. Like those things are all temporary, finite, conditional happinesses that you can acquire them if you have the means to acquire them, but you can't just have them all the time. It's not reasonable to expect you have those moments all the time. So you need to find a way to have chronological happiness, a way to actually feel happy over time. And the only way to do that is to consistently remember to appreciate things in life. So you wake up and you appreciate something. You appreciate the water on your face when you're taking a shower. You appreciate fresh clothes. Some little things like that. It really is the little details, the small things that matter in life and make the biggest difference, is when you can actually appreciate those things. And I think that saying holds true more than you've ever thought it held true. I think the little things matter more because the little things last longer than the big things. Like, even if you had the most amazing experience of your life, a wedding or a baby, whatever it is, or maybe you won the lottery, like that's all gonna be temporary. If you compare those moments as far as the time they took to happen across your whole life, how many moments have you had that were happy compared to unhappy? The percentage is probably astronomically low. It's probably like 1% happy and 99% unhappy. But that 99% instead can be filled in with little details, little things you appreciate about life, whether it be the people you're with, or the house you're in, or the home you're in, or the apartment, or the grass you walk on. You can take off your shoes and go for a walk, and hopefully you won't step on some dog poop, but you still appreciate the the fun things that you can do outside and breathe some fresh air. They're just stuff you can do that's small and simple that make you feel good. And I try to check myself from time to time, but I gotta be honest, lately it hasn't been that easy for me. And maybe it's something I just need to work on more, and I'm happy to work on it more. I'm happy I watched this video again and added to it. And I might amend it. I might make a happiness part 2, because there's just so much to talk about when it comes to genuine happiness. And someone who's in despair right now, who might be, in depression, or is depressed, if they're watching this to try to get better feelings, you can take measures to be happy, but honestly, you might need some extra help from a therapist or otherwise. You might not get it from just some random guy on YouTube. I don't know if this will reach anybody, but it's okay if it doesn't. But if you are seeking genuine happiness and trying to get out of a hole you're in, I think checking your perspective is a good first step. Remembering that you're just a tiny human and these tiny experiences mean nothing when it comes to the grand scheme of the universe. It's kind of a funny thought sometimes to help you refresh your perspective. Like, who cares about, you stubbing your toe or being clumsy or, losing a game? Who cares about, stuff happening that's major, like, death in the family or something like that? When it comes to the grand scheme of the universe, those things don't last. You have a lot of life to live, and you have a lot of a universe to experience, and the universe isn't going to be affected by small things like that. And it's just an insane opportunity to be alive and experiencing those sadnesses and depression points and negative points of your life that you have to go through, that are thrust upon you. You have no choice but to experience. They can make you feel better. In comparison, when those things aren't happening, they can make you feel better about your life in general and appreciate your life in general and appreciate the small things in life. But yeah, I think I've gone on I think I've gone on long enough about this stuff, and I'll end the video here. I appreciate you watching. I think I used to say, make sure to be introspective, and remember to always keep trying to learn and expand on new things. Never think that you're done learning or done being happy. It's always a practice. And just remember to do your own research. And this is all my opinion and all stuff like that. So, all right, well, we'll see you in the next one. I'll see if I can make some more videos. Bye.